I'm trying to figure out, like, a coherent intro, because I have an outro. Like, I have a consistent outro. I don't have an intro. But it's 7 p.m. and I've got an energy drink. What else is new? I don't know what this is gonna taste like, because the flavor, it just says Cosmic Stardust. Don't know what that tastes like, but... Oh, wow. That's good. I like it. I like this a lot. I still don't know what the fuck it tastes like, but if you've ever wondered what Cosmic Stardust tastes like, it tastes good. I'm baking, and I'm telling stories from school, because a fun fact about me, hi, I'm Storm, my school year just ended, and a lot of funny shit happened, as you can imagine. So, this is a terrible angle. I'm trying to make it so that you can, like, see what I'm doing, but all you can see is my big-ass forehead. Don't look at that, guys. It's not real. But, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Fuck me. I'm baking peanut butter cookies, which I've never baked before. I Googled a recipe 10 minutes before I turned the camera on, and I'm telling stories. I've been meaning to make this video for, like, the past, I want to say 2 weeks now, but I am, in fact, lazy, and I just didn't. I don't know why. And if you're thinking to yourself, Storm, that doesn't look like your kitchen. I'm in the basement because my mom has exiled me from baking upstairs until summer's over, because she says it gets too hot with the oven on. So I've been cast out of my own kitchen. I'm forced to be down here. So sorry if I also seem a little on edge, because I have delusions, not like in the quirky way, like in the mentally ill way, and one of them is that there's a guy in my basement who's trying to kill me. So sorry if I seem odd. I am in a state of fight or flight right now. But yeah, we're baking peanut butter cookies and telling stories from school. Now, when I say stories from school, I don't mean, like, I could talk about like, my friends and how grateful I am for the people that I've met this year. Don't ignore the fact that I'm putting stuff on the oven. It's not on. It doesn't need to be on yet. I'm not going to talk about that, though. What I am going to talk about is what can only be summed up as pure American public high school bullshit. That's what I remember from this year. If I had one word to describe my school, it is American public high school. Like, there is no other way to describe it, right? I'm also going to be baking. I might try to say the recipe as I go, but like I said, I literally barely even read the recipe before I started, so it might be kind of pointless. No, why would I say the recipe if I don't even know it? What the fuck? I'm stupid. But yeah, the first thing, and probably the thing, I don't have enough flour. That's fine. You know what? Oh well. The first thing, and probably the thing I'm gonna remember most about this school year, is my Spanish teacher. This lady, she's crazy. Like, I don't know what else to say. She just has so much hatred. She just has so much hatred in her heart. And I can't explain why, but she just hates literally everyone. Like, all of her classes, you can walk past her classroom at any given time of day, and you just hear her, like, screaming. And it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to breathe near you. Don't hurt me. Like, I don't know how else to describe her other than just hatred. Like, that's it. It was wild. Like, I remember the first day of school, I had her class, right? Because my school, they do A-day, B-day schedule, so I have 4 classes on one day, and then my other 4 classes on another day, and it flip-flops in between the two. So I have, like, 4 classes every day, and then 4 other classes every other day. Basically, I don't know if that's a good way to describe it if you don't know what the fuck I mean, but maybe you get the idea? And so I remember the first day of school was an A-day, and that's when I had her class, and I sat down in her class, and I heard her start speaking. And she, right off the bat, she was, like, telling kids to shut up. And I was like, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. So, I immediately got the vibe, like, okay, this teacher, this teacher will, she's not gonna like me. So I was, like, trying my best, like, okay, I'll just sit and do my work, and I'll stay out of her way. And for the most part, I did, right? Like, I did my best to do all my assignments, turn all my shit in, be a good student, because, like, I am a good student. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't like I was really trying. But she still found a reason to hate me anyway. Don't know why. Like, I don't know what her problem was, but, like, I would go up to ask her a question about an assignment, because one of the things that she would do, I need to, like, actually focus on this fucking recipe. One of the things that she would do is she would, like, write stuff on the assignments, like, put words on the assignments that she didn't teach us, and the class would be like, yo, what does this mean? Like, what? And she'd be like, you should have paid attention. And we'd be like, no, you just, like, didn't. Like, the entire class, like, literally everyone. And we would ask kids from other classes, like, did she tell you guys this? And they would all be like, no. And we'd be like, what the fuck? Like, it was like, and she'd be like, well, just look it up then. And I'm like, alright, cool. And she'd be, like, mad about it. I'm like, ooh, I'm sorry. And another thing that she would do is, like, she would make slideshows for all of her lessons, right? And, she would never, like, post the slideshows anywhere, like, on Google Classroom or anything. So if you missed class, you were fucked, basically. Because you'd be like, hey, can you, like, show me the slideshow so I can, like, get the notes for what I missed? And she'd be like, no, you should have been here. And everyone's just like, I remember, like, I was, like, sick for a week I had COVID. I was sick with COVID for a week. And I came back, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry I was gone for a week. Like, I had COVID. What did I miss? And she was like, you should figure that out yourself. I'm like, what? And she's like, that's not my problem. I was like, okay. Like, I didn't know what to say to her. I was like, oh, alright, my bad. Ooh. It just really weird. And also, that same week that I had COVID, there was a presentation that we had to do, apparently. I couldn't be in class to present. I had COVID. And so, my grade dropped from a B to a C. And when I came back, I came up to her and I was like, hey, is there any way I can make this presentation up? I'm sorry, I had COVID. Is there any way that I could, like, redo the presentation? And she was like, no. I was like, alright. So I was like, alright, well, I had to work my ass off to get my grade back up because she wouldn't let me redo the presentation. I was even like, I don't even have to interrupt, like, the whole class. Like, I can just present it to you if that would be easier. And she was like, no, you should have been here. I was like, okay, my bad, sorry. I remember, like, presenting is something that's really hard for me. I don't know why. I'm just, like, really scared of it. And I would get, like, really panicked about it. And I told her, like, hey, I'm really, like, nervous about presentations. Like, I'm sorry. And she'd be like, okay. And then she would specifically call on me first every time. Every fucking time. And I would be like, I remember the first time she did it, I was like, oh, can I, like, go, like, third or second? She was like, no, get up here. I was like, oh, okay. Because we had, like, a lot of presentations in our class. Like, she made us present all the time. All the time. And one of these presentations, oh my god, one of these other presentations, it was, we had to do, it was like a Day of the Dead kind of thing, and we had to make a presentation about someone who we knew who had died. And I had only ever known one person who died, and it was my friend, and this specific friend, the only person who I'd ever known, so it was the only option that I had for the presentation, had literally killed herself a week ago before she assigned this presentation. Not even a week, like, I think, like, 3 days. And I remember when I was making the presentation, I was like, I'm gonna have to present this to the whole class. And I was, like, not in the right space to do that. And so I came up to her, I was like, hey, is there any way that I can, like, not do this specific presentation in front of the whole class? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can do it. Like, I think I will start crying in front of the class, and I don't want to do that. And she was like, you're gonna get a 0 on it then. And, like, I explained to her the situation. She was like, I don't care, you're gonna get a 0. And I was like, okay, cool. Fuck me, I guess, you know? Like, I don't... It's a miracle I passed her class. I have a B in her class. And I'm really proud of myself for that, because she did not make it easy. Especially with this last assignment that she gave us. Oh my god. Oh no, I have to use a hand mixer. No. No, I don't like hand mixers. I'm scared of hand mixers. I don't know why, but they terrify me. But no, this last assignment that we had in our class, the last assignment, so, and it was like a big part of our grade, and it was the last thing, and she assigned it 2 weeks before the end of the school year. So if we fucked up this assignment, we didn't have any other chance to make our grade up. So it's like, and the assignment itself, fucking wild. So we had to do like a 3-page essay on a topic. That's not a problem for me. I was okay with that. What I was worried about was we had to do a presentation about the topic that we wrote 3 pages on. We weren't allowed to write any words at all in the slides, and we weren't allowed to use note cards. We had to memorize the whole thing, and we had to do it within a week. She assigned it on Monday. We presented on Friday. In my head, I was fucked. In my head, I saw my grade go from a B to a C, and I was like, oh, there goes my hopes and dreams. But I actually managed to do it, which... I think I just broke something. Whatever, but I actually managed to do it, which, you know, I'm literally the best to ever do it. I'm the greatest. Simply the greatest. But yeah, that was my crazy Spanish teacher. And yeah, I'm so glad I'm not having to do her class next year, because when we got to sign up for classes, our guidance counselor said if we wanted to, this butter is not soft. I have to go put this in the microwave. But yeah, our guidance counselor told us that if we wanted to, we could change whatever language we're taking. My school only offers 2, Spanish and French, so I'm switching to French. Because I do not want to have to deal with her ever again. I don't like her. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not talking about because I just don't have enough time to get through all my other notes. I wrote notes for this, and this is some of the weirdest shit that I've written. Yeah. Like, no, because I just wrote, like, bullet points with just, like, a collection of random keywords. And it looks really funny if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my Spanish teacher, and she's not the only insane teacher. If you want to find someone who should never be in a school, go find a public high school substitute teacher. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what kind of drugs they are giving these substitute teachers, but they're all so weird. They are all crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them, but all substitute teachers, they're like, there's a lot of different types of them, but they're all weird. But there's a lot of different types of the weird ones. And first of all, there's just like the mean ones, which that's not you're just a bitch. I'm sorry, that's not special. So is like half of the school. I don't know what to tell you. What am I supposed to put in this? It's just the butter. Okay. Really? Just the butter. Alright. But there was this one specific substitute teacher. I don't know what his name was, but this man, he looked like a fucking omen of death. Anytime I saw him in the hallway, I was like, oh shit, that's the Grim Reaper coming to collect me. He had like a face mask, and he had like these little round glasses, but over his eyes, he had this like big ass fucking hat that he pulled down over his eyes, and then he put the glasses over it, and the hat had a brim, so it looked like a beak. He looked like a fucking plague doctor. He looked like an omen of death, and every time I saw him, I was like, I just died, and the Grim Reaper's coming for me. That's what this is. And he was, like, one of the weirdest people I think I've ever met. Like, also, he was just, like, a really bad substitute. Like, any class he substituted for, he would go in, he would sit at the desk, he would tell everyone, be quiet, and then he just sat there. And I remember one time, I looked over at him, because I was wondering, like, I wonder what he's doing. Bro was leaned back in the chair snoring. Just fell asleep. Just knocked out. Just like, snoring audibly. And I was like, is that allowed? Like, I was like, that's gotta be some kind of, like, safety thing, right? Like, I don't know what his name was. I don't think he ever told anybody his name. Don't know how he got this job. He was just, like, this, like, terrifying, and he was really, like, tall. Like, he was tall, he looked like an omen of death. I never saw any facial feature on this man. I never saw his hands either, because he wore fucking gloves. And even in, like, the summer, he, like, because my school started in August, so I saw him in the summer. He wears long black pants, a black shirt, and a long black coat in August. He's not real. That is the Grim Reaper, like, walking into the school. I don't know what else to say about him. But it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Like, and I think about him all the time. Like, I'll just be laying in bed, and I'll be like, what is that guy? What is that guy? Like, what? It's wild. Like, substitute teachers, they're wild. And that's just one of many American public high school bullshit that I have on this here list. That's the only way I can describe it. But another thing about school, high school, is AP classes. Specifically, my AP seminar class. Now, for those of you who don't know, AP stands for Advanced Placement. So it's an advanced placement class. And when you think about that, okay, you're probably thinking, smart kids. No. You walk into an AP class, you will see just a convention of burnt out, probably queer kids with family issues, and they're all tired, and none of them know what they're doing, and it's wonderful. It is wonderful. I walked into an AP class and I immediately went, I'm home. This is where I belong. Because of the people here. Not because of the class. Because of the people. Because they are all on the same page. They're all just, I need to get good grades, otherwise I am useless. That is me. And that's why I loved AP Seminar specifically. Because I had it last class of my day on A-days. And I had a bunch of friends in that class, and we all sat at, like, a table together. And the shit that we talked about, my poor AP seminar teacher. My AP seminar teacher is also my favorite teacher. He's my dad. He doesn't know it yet, but he is my dad. In my mind, that's my dad. That is my father figure. And I feel so bad for him because the shit that he must have heard us say, he probably needs therapy now, the poor guy. Like, but that was the beauty of it, because none of us ever got anything done in that class. Don't know how. I have an A in that class. Don't know how. I got the assignments done. I don't know how I got them done, because I never did shit in that class. I never did work in that class. But I somehow got the assignments. I think I just, like, blacked out when I got home, and it, like, did it all in, like, a coma, I guess. I don't know. But it's wonderful. Most of the time in that class, it was just me and my friends. I would, like, lay across the tables, and we would just, like, talk to each other. Or we'd play apples to apples. Don't know where we got apples to apples, but we had it. And it's how much brown sugar? AP classes, if you are a burnt out, probably queer, gifted kid with family issues, you will meet more of you in AP classes, and that is a wonderful experience. It's great. I fucking love it. I'm taking 3 AP classes. I took 2 this year. I took AP Government and AP Seminar. I couldn't handle it. And then when I was picking my classes for next year, I just, like, forgot how many times I cried over my homework, my AP homework. I was just like, I'm gonna sign up for 3! And then I walked out of signing up for classes, and I just had, like, this moment of clarity. I was just like, what did I just do to myself? So yeah, but yeah, that's gonna be fun to deal with. Next year, that's next year me's problem. Brown sugar, how much brown sugar? Half a cup. But yeah, what else do I have in my notes? Oh, chemistry. My chemistry class broke me. My chemistry class hurt me in ways that I didn't even know imaginable. I walked into chemistry on the first day thinking, this will be fun. I love science. And then by halfway through the second semester, every time I had to go to that class, I prayed for death. I prayed for lightning to just strike me down there. Because that class killed me. Something in that class killed everyone. Like, I swear, all of the people who I knew in that class, they came in with a little bit of hope, and by the end of the year, we were all happy to get, like, a 34 out of... I forgot how her tests were graded. We were all happy to get, like, a 34 out of 80 on a quiz. Like, that was good. That class is the reason that I don't have a 4.0, and I don't know if I can ever forgive... I forgive my teacher. My teacher was great. It's the class itself that I have issue with. Like, if that class was a person, I think I'd kill it. In, like, a very brutal and violent way in Minecraft. But no, that class killed me. But the fun thing about that class is we did, reviews before our unit quizzes. And the way our teacher did it was, she made little fake games of Jeopardy, which I thought was really fun because I really like Jeopardy. Like, I really like Jeopardy. And the first time she pulled up the slideshow with the fake Jeopardy, I was ecstatic. I was so happy. And the way that it worked is if your team won, she had this bucket of prizes, and you could pick shit out of it. And all those prizes, none of them made sense, and I loved them. I won a fucking blood pressure monitor because my team won a game of Jeopardy. A fucking blood pressure monitor. It's on a shelf in my room, and I remember coming home from school with it that day, and I showed my mom, and my mom was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, I got it from chemistry. And I was so happy because, like, I was happy that I won it, and I was also happy that I had it. I don't know why. Like, she said that she had extra and she was looking to get rid of them, so she put them in her prize bucket, and I was like, I want that. I don't need it. No one needed them. No one in that class needed them. But she had them, and I saw it, and I was like, that is mine. That's coming home with me. And it did. She also had a lot of ramen. I also got an entire, like, big-ass bag of soda tabs. Because my team won, mostly because of me, actually. Because the way that the teams were, is it was whatever row of tables we sat in. And most of the people in my row didn't do shit, to say the least. So I carried my team the entire fucking year. And we didn't win all the time, but we won a lot because of me. And I deserve more appreciation for the work that I put in. How much sugar? 1/4 of a cup. This one. But yeah. I also won, like, little miniature dinosaur toys. That's a 1/3, not a 1/4. Oh, that almost was bad. But no, I won a bunch of really weird shit from chemistry. It was wonderful. It was just... There was, like, everyone in that class was slowly losing their minds, but we were all in it together, and there was something beautiful about that. A lot of shit also, like, really weird shit also happened in that class, mostly because of this one kid. He was super loud. This is a really long video already. Mostly because of this one kid, he was super loud, and he was ridiculous, and everybody hated him. He was one of the kids who was on my team for the Jeopardy, and this motherfucker, he would shout out the questions that he wanted the team to answer, me to answer, but he never helped me. So he literally just, like, gave me questions and then made me deal with it all. I hated him. Wild. I remember one time, I was sitting there peacefully doing my work. I look up, in the back of the class, there's two girls, like, straightening this other girl's hair. Like, just in the middle of class. I was just like, good morning. But yeah. Another fun... I'm looking over this, because I don't need to say all of this. Another fun little thing, is the interesting place that is specifically the second floor girls' bathroom. You walk in that bathroom at any given time, I don't even have a word for it. It's wild. Like, I remember one time, I walked into the bathroom, and I heard someone in one of the stalls having, like, a full sobbing mental breakdown. And I just stood there, like, in the bathroom, just, like, really awkwardly. Like, I was like, do I say something? Because I didn't want to piss in there if this girl was, like, going through it. So I was just standing there, like, and then I just walked out, and I went back to class. And I went back to class, and I told my friends, dude, I walked in the bathroom, and I heard some girl just, like, sobbing. And then one of my friends was like, really? And then, like, a minute later went to the bathroom themselves. And they came back. And they said, I didn't hear anyone sobbing, but I walk in there, and there's someone with a blowtorch shooting fire at the wall. Hello? I was like, I wish I'd stayed now, because what the fuck? Like, that's wild. And the worst thing is that, like, I don't even think that they were lying, because that is absolutely something that would have happened at my school. Egg. Add egg. What else? I have a lot of little stories. I'm trying to get through the big stories first, but I have a lot of little stories, too. Oh, I don't even know if this is, like, funny, but this is just, like, this isn't funny. This is really fucked up. But it was so wild at the time that, like, I just couldn't believe it. And this is what I mean. This story is a perfect example of what I mean when I say American public high school bullshit. I remember one time I was in English. English is my first class of the day. My first class of the day. It starts at, like, 8:20 in the morning. I was in that class, and we were all getting ready to leave. And this one girl gets up from her table and starts walking, and then she just face plants onto the floor. And we all thought that she just fell, but then she lays there for, like, 2 minutes, and we're all like, is something wrong? Like, we were all like, oh, like, this is weird. This shouldn't be happening. And then she gets up, and she starts sobbing. And she's, like, screaming, like, I need a doctor, I need a hospital. And we're all like, what is going on? Like, and we had a substitute teacher that day, too. And the substitute teacher was, like, freaking out, like, what is going on? And the substitute, like, called for a security guard and was, like, trying to figure out what happened. And this girl was like, this girl gave me an edible this morning, and I also took, like, 11 pills last night. I don't know, like, that is word for word what she said. And we were all like, it was so wild. And this girl had to, like, get, like, a wheelchair, and she had to, like, leave. It wasn't even 9 a.m. yet. It was, like, I remember walking to my next class being like, did I really just see that? Like, I was, like, flabbergasted. I was, like, standing there in the hallway walking. I was, like, standing in the hallway, like, in between classes, like, was that real? Like, I don't even know. And then she framed my friend for giving her the edible, which I thought was bullshit, because my friend had absolutely nothing to do with this. But that was a day. That was a day. That was something that was real and did happen. Yeah. Absolutely wild. Couldn't believe that. And she never came back. Like, I know that she's okay, but, like, I never saw her at school again. But yeah, wild time. They also, oh my god, this is something that just pissed me off. So my school, right, they had metal detectors, right? That didn't bother me. What bothered me was that, you know when you go to the airport and they have those scanners that you have to put your bag through? They bought those. They bought 2 of them. Why, do you ask? Not because of safety, not because they wanted to, like, make sure no one was bringing a gun to school. No. Phones. They bought 2 fucking airport bag scanners to take our phones. Which I think that's just a little unnecessary at that point. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, that is overkill. I don't know. Like, they had 2 metal detectors and 2 bag scanners. Overkill. I don't know what to tell you. Overkill. And it didn't even work, because I still got my phone in, like, every day. Like, but all that it did was make, like, the line to get into school, because they had to have everyone go through 1 metal detector at one point, because they took away one of the other metal detectors and one of the bag scanners, even though they had enough, but they just, like, took them away. Don't know why. But, like, the entire school had to go through this 1 metal detector. It took so long, and sometimes they'd make people go through and, like, put their bags through 3 or 4 times, because they kept going off even though they didn't have anything on them. And then they'd have to get, like, they had, like, those, like scanner, like, the wavy things that they gave the security guards, and they had to, like, have them, like, get, like, waved or whatever, and it's, like, this is so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary, and, like, but what pissed me off the most was that they spent all that money on that, but my school started in August, so it was really hot, and they didn't have air conditioning, and they told us that they didn't have an air conditioner because they didn't have enough money for air conditioning, and we were all like, oh, okay, that's fair, this is a broke school. But then they got those fucking bag scanners. And you know what I also found out later in the year? The front office, they put air conditioning in the front office. So just, like, fuck the rest of us, I guess. I don't know. There's probably another reason for it, and I'm just petty, but I don't care. I am petty. And I don't Peanut butter. How much peanut butter? 3/4 of a cup creamy peanut butter. Yum. Alright, I think that's the last of the big stories. But now there's the little stories, which the little stories are also funny. One of my favorite ones, this happened very recently actually, was it was at like the last 2 days of the school year, and I was sitting in math class, and one of my friends, who isn't even in that class, by the way, he comes up to me and he shows me something. The something that he showed me was a fucking ceiling tile. A goddamn ceiling tile, and I was so happy. I was like, can I have it? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my god. And so I took it home. I had to get rid of it because it had asbestos on it. But that was like my favorite thing. And I was like, where did you get this? And he was like, I found it. And I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Like, I was so, like, over the moon happy about it, and I don't know why. And I still am sad that it had asbestos and I had to get rid of it because I wanted to frame it. I wanted to put it in my room as like a decoration. You know, this is disgusting. I just realized what I'm doing. This is fucking disgusting. Oh well. I don't want this on my fingers, but I don't want to lick it off. Alright. I don't even like peanut butter all that much. I don't know why I'm making peanut butter cookies. No one asked me to do this. I don't like peanut butter. But here I am. Oh, so a bunch of my friends were in a photography class. I was not in that class. I was in guitar classes. not art classes, but I remember a lot of the time I would skip class and I would go to my friend's photography class, but their teacher would always kick me out because I wasn't in that class, which rude. Let me make my own bad decisions. So what I would do to avoid her is I would hide under the table, and it was really funny because my friends would kick me accidentally, and then they'd have to pretend that they didn't, so the teacher wouldn't see me, and then at the end of class, like 10-15 minutes before class ended, I would get out from under the table, and the teacher would be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Heh," and she never figured it out. I don't feel bad because that teacher was also terrible. She said a lot of really mean things to my friends. A lot of really out-of-pocket shit. And also, she counts AI art as real art. So I don't like her. I don't care about her, actually. This is disgusting. I hate peanut butter. Why am I dumb? Alright. Why do I keep doing it? Just get a paper towel. Oh my god. One time in my AP government class, this is what I mean. This is an example of what I mean when I say that people who take AP classes aren't actually all that smart. We had to write an essay about tyranny for our AP government class. And it was a 5-paragraph essay, right? And I spent so much time on this essay. I put a lot of effort into this essay. I spent so much time on it. And by the time I turned it in, I was so proud of it. And then, after my teacher graded it, he comes up to me in class. And he goes, "Storm, did you, proofread your essay before you submitted it?" I was like, "Yeah, I did. Why?" He was like, you didn't use the word tyranny in your essay." I was like, "What do you mean?" He told me to go open it and read it again. Apparently, my dumb ass didn't write tyranny. I accidentally wrote the transphobic slur for that entire essay. And when I looked at that essay and then I looked back at my teacher and I went, "I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize, because apparently I can't spell." I was so mortified. That was the only thing I could think about for a week. I was just, I was so distraught. I was like, I'm never going to recover from this. And the worst part is that, I proofread my essay. I checked over the whole thing. And I didn't see anything wrong with it. And, I don't know how I missed that. It was, that's what I mean when I say that people who take AP classes, not actually all that smart. That was quite possibly one of the most humbling moments of my life. Yeah. Not my proudest moment. No, not even close, actually. That was humiliating. Very humiliating. I remember, Spotify Wrapped Day. That was a day. I remember being in the cafeteria when I heard and I heard the entire cafeteria go, a little bit quieter. And then after that, at least, a cacophony of at least 10 people going, "Why is that song on there? What is that artist? I didn't even listen to them." Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. That was one of the funniest days. Oh. These are gonna be fire. One of the funniest days of that entire school year was the day that Spotify Wrapped came out. That was great. I think about that a lot. Because personally, my Spotify Wrapped was great. Mine was really accurate. Mine was perfect. But no, that was funny. I remember looking at mine with my friend, and my most streamed song was my most streamed song was I'm Not Okay, I Promise. And I was in the top 0.01% of MCR listeners. And my friend just looked at me and went, Storm, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, you already know. You already know. You already know. So yeah. That was great. None of my friends wanted to show me their Spotify Wrapped, and I was really sad about that. Because I felt like, no, a few of them did. But most of them were like, this is terrible, I'm ashamed. And I was like, aw. Come on, we're all friends here. I want to know. But yeah, Spotify Wrap Day is a great day for me, because mine's always great, because I don't feel shame, except for that essay for AP Government. But other than that, I don't feel shame. I don't know what that's like. So it's always just wonderful to watch everyone else just like lose their mind, and I'm just like, this is all accurate. You know? Although, I have to say, this year mine might be a little bit ruined by Has Been Hotel soundtrack. So maybe for once in my life I will experience shame. Maybe I just needed to be humbled, and that's why I like Has Been Hotel so much. That makes sense. Alright, I accept my fate then. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that is everything. That is everything. Well, there's one story that I didn't tell, but I don't have time. If you want to hear that story, tell me. I'll do something where... Ow! I'll do something where I tell it. But yeah. And this is also perfect timing, because the dough is done. Now, this has to chill for an hour, and then I bake it, and I'm not gonna record that part, because, lazy. But, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Free Palestine.